In Fallout 4, there's many different comics that you can find across the entire wasteland, and there's one in particular that we're going to look at, and that's Grognak the Barbarian. Grognak the Barbarian is a barbarian that wields an axe, he looks cool, and he does cool stuff. And looking back to the state of Fallout 4 in 2025, really the last things that you can do is look around, be stupid, or have an axe and look awesome. So in this video, we're going to find out, can I beat Fallout 4 as Grognak the Barbarian? Now it's time for me to start my character, and I'm gonna be honest, I already had a good idea who I was gonna make, because it's just Grognak the Barbarian. But I'm gonna be honest, I was so happy on how he turned out. Just look at this sexy devil. I ran around my house like an absolute maniac until the perk ban came, and when it boiled down to the perks, I only really needed 10 strength. Everything else was just because I kind of wanted to. And for the name, it could be me, and it could be you. But you know what it was? It was Grognak the Sniffer, because that's such a dope-ass name. Now, after I was finished with my perks, I went to go talk to my little-ass kid. But the little thing is a freak. And since I'm so immensely strong, I made myself clear that I was the alpha of the pack. When I found out that my family was going to be eviscerated by a bomb, the only thing I could think about was all the money I spent on alpha male training programs. And the one thing I learned, leave your family and live. But it didn't really work out because when I went to the vault, my family was already there, so I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch. In the vault, Mr. Abel kept me company. I was then popsicleized, and then watched my son get taken. Even though my son is probably dead now, this marks the start of my new run. So the first thing I need to do is get the axe and then get the outfit. But I'm not gonna make any progress until I get that. So that's my first priority. But once I get the outfit and the axe, that's not the end of it for me. I have to get all 10 Grognak the Barbarian issues. There's an extra one, but later on, spoiler alert, it doesn't go well. I used some of my amazing dodging skills to get past the cockroaches, but they decided to just glitch through walls, so I had to hide from them again. And then once that was done, I made my way outside of the vault and started heading straight down to Boston Commons to go get the axe. But I forgot that I actually need to get pickpocketing advanced to actually open the case. So I went back to Sanctuary, and then there I gathered some XP so I can get pickpocketing 1. And speaking of perks, you will really see me only focusing strength this gameplay, so don't worry about anything else. I made my way to the Cambridge police station to go help Paladin dance. And you would think that I would be a little bit of help. Hell no, those freaky ass ghouls kicked me the fuck out of there. I then made it down to Hubris Comics to get the axe and also the cloth. And you would think that I would do research beforehand. But I also have the perception of a goldfish, so it doesn't go hand in hand. I ran past the case at least 10 times and died almost 30 before finally I found it by looking it up online. This was a low point in my life, guys. I'm sorry. I then went upstairs, got the costume, and then made it out of there. And now it's time for me to actually use the weapon. And it was pretty fucking good. It was pretty good. We made our way to Diamond City, and I wanted to be funny a little bit. So I beat the front brakes of Mayor McDonough, slashed his tires, and got the hell out of there. And when I came back, he didn't seem to care. He's just open for anything. He's a good boy. I then made my way down to the subway station to go save Nick Valentine. And I tried to face Swan. No match. Just devoured. Inside of the subway station, it was how you always would think the Triggermen would be. They are angry, they have guns, their heads come off pretty quickly, and they just fucking suck. I actually had a good time at first though. I was slashing them off, absolutely castrating every single one of them, until we got inside, and they started castrating me. Reverse castrating is no fun. And then I got to Dino, and I slaughtered that man. I grabbed the door password, and then I saved Nick Valentine. And you think that I did Dino bad? Just wait till you see Skinny Malone. Right down the top, opened in half. His crew died similar deaths. And then I made my way out with Nick Valentine. And now it's time to go do more shit. And I talked to this lady, and there's one thing you need to know. It's boring. As boring as Sekiro.
Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
On the subject of being bored on video games, such as Sekiro, let me speak to you real quick. I lost all of my motivation for playing games and making videos. As you can see, over the past 6 months, I've been trying to push out a video, And this video specifically, it's so hard to do. I don't know why. It's like that meme where people say YouTubers, whenever they have to do the bare minimum to do their job. I can't do it. But now I'm back at it. So that's why this video is coming out. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'm so sorry for being lame as fuck. But if you guys would forgive me, then thank you and watch the video. I love you guys. Now I have to get Kellogg's keys. So I went to my old victim, stole the keys out of his pocket, went into Kellogg's house, grabbed everything he had, and now it's time for me to feed Dogmeat a cigarette. And now there's one thing you need to know about this game that not a lot of people know about. Fort Hagen is terrible. This place sucks. And I want to go on a rant real quick, because there's one thing that you need to look out for if you ever want to play this game, or if you have played this game. The synths are stupid, and they're angry, and they're also racist to melee weapons. Whenever you have a melee weapon, they'll just whip out their forearms and start beating on you like you're a puppy. They don't give a fuck. They'll just maul you. But despite the fact that I may have a little obsession of hating synths, I made it through Fort Hagen one by one, fighting these stupid MMA fighters over and over again, until finally I made up with Kellogg. And there was one thing on my mind when I faced Kellogg. What you have to do is kill his synths first, because they're the ones putting you down. Kellogg's a weak little wuss. So I chopped off this synth's head, made my way to Kellogg, and yeah, he folded. It was the easiest fight of my life. I don't know why I was looking forward to this. And with Kellogg being dead, it's time for me to go lobotomize Nick. So I went to Good Neighbor, chopped off Finn's head, and then put my fingers in Nick Valentine's brains. After that, I went to the glowing sea, and since I don't have a hazmat suit, I have to utilize Rad-X a whole bunch, because, you know, can't take off the cloth. But the trek through the glowing sea was actually easier than I thought, but I made my own enemies by killing the leader of the crater, and then I went to go talk to Virgil. But I really wanted to kill this Deathclaw, and I'm fucking strong. I'm super strong. I beat this Deathclaw in 4 hits. Now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the game, Green Tech Genetics. It was a bunch of gunners and a courser. And the gunners, most of them are pretty easy to run by. They do a shitload of damage, but the real problem is the guy on the balcony with the RPG. That man had me suffering for 30 minutes straight. It was the worst time of my life. But with a little bit of jet and leading him out for at least like 2 minutes of letting them walk around, he was dead and his friends were dead. So then I got my way up to the courser. And honestly, best strategy for courser? Just whack that man straight up. And just keep striking, because he has a lot of health, as I said. And yeah. Eventually, I got the courser chip, and the gunners that were held hostage here, I put them down. They don't deserve to live. This much grief for this much long. It put a smile on my face to see them go. And then I went to go talk to Dr. Amari. But of course, she is pointless. So I went to go talk to the railroad instead. But I did what any normal person would do, unlock their door, and just killed them all. That's what a real barbarian would do. And after I put them in their place, and definitely Dr. Carrington, I made my way back to Virgil and have him make me plans so I can build this damn teleporter. And with this, it's time for me to pick my faction. And you know, the most hardcore faction that you could pick in the game is obviously the Minutemen. No, I'm kidding. It's the Brotherhood of Steel. So we went back to help Paladin Dance. In real time, Paladin Dance has been dealing with his ghoul problem for at least 8 months now. But good thing I'm here. So now it's time to go to ArcJet. So I took a stroll with him, and then he got super sidetracked, exploded a little bit, and then now it's time to go kill more synths. And this is better, because now I have a meat shield that can shoot lasers. So I melted him, and then I grabbed the deep range transmitter. And now it's time to go to the Pridwin. And this is when it gets good in the game, but also really boring. So I met the team, went out, and had to swim to Fort Strong because I can't go on vertibirds. And it went the way you would think it would go, with an axe, a bunch of drugs, and swimming to Fort Strong against a behemoth and a bunch of super mutants. I took a bunch of drugs, and I got fucking white. Over, and over, and over, and over again, until finally I found a strategy. I hid behind this window, used VATS a whole bunch, popped drugs like I was Kurt Cobain, and then over time, I finally killed the behemoth. And then I went inside and slaughtered all of its brethren in cold blood. I then talked to Paladin Dance and found out he was a major racist. But now it's time to go build an Institute teleporter. Yeah, woohoo! And I built it with all the materials I had, went to go talk to Elder Maxon. He gave me the green light. I stepped on the platform and went inside the Institute. Inside of the Institute, way too clean, way too modern. Where's the barbaric skills that you had when I birthed you? My son was a weakling, so I did what any good father would do and put him out of his misery, right down the hatch. Then tried to make my way out of there, killing some sense on the way, and then I left the modern age. Welcome back, Stone Age. I then looked at Liberty Prime, and I realized one thing. I realized I forgot to talk to Dr. Lin, so I had to go on a side quest. We love side quests, and it was actually new. I've never done this before. So I ran down to General Atomics Galleria, and I figured out my favorite feature so far in this game. It's not even real. It's not even a real feature, but you can bowl, and it's really hard to get a strike. So I did it. And then I talked to the scientist who's going to help us with Liberty Prime. Made it back to the Pridwin and talked to Proctor Ingram. And now I have to go to the Glowing Sea again to go do this stupid nuke mission. And I made a mistake of spawning all the way in the Glowing Sea. So I ran all the way out to Waypoint Echo just to talk to Scribe Halen. She's worth that to me, guys. You guys can't have her. And then I made it all the way back out to the Sentinel site. Inside, I chopped down all the ghouls that bothered me. I then slaughtered this man who was just trying to defend his bombs, killed the glowing one, made it back to Liberty Prime. What a beautiful sight.
Mission. Liberation.
Now it is time for me to stop all my questing and pick up all 10 issues of the Grognak the Barbarian comics. It's Grogneckin' time, as they say in France. So, the first 4 comics I would like to say were pretty easy. But then you went down to the Museum of Witchcraft, which has a Grognak the Barbarian comic. And I could have just skipped the Deathclaw. But what fun is that? So I spent the next 10 minutes chipping away its health until I beat it. But the fight was great. It felt straight out of a Barbarian comic. It was great. I loved it. I put it down, grabbed the comic, grabbed another comic, and now I have to kill Swan too, which was another legendary fight. But Swan's a little pussy boy. He doesn't deserve that fame. So yeah, we're not making a comic out of this guy. Once he was dead, I grabbed the comic that was near him, grabbed another one, and another one, and another one. Earlier in the video, I had stated that it didn't go so good for this extra comic. And yeah, it didn't go so good, because I tried my hardest to talk to this teacher and get this quest to start, but it never worked. It wouldn't work. For no reason, it just didn't work. And it really made me angry, because she just kept telling me to come back some other time. I tried bug fixes, I tried everything. So I snapped. So I got the hell out of there. And then all the comics I needed. So we did that part of the campaign. And now I went back to talk to Elder Maxon. Paladin Dance is a traitor. Scribe Halen tried to get me to save his life, but she doesn't know that that's not how I function. So hell no. I made my way out of there, running as fast as I could to go relish this moment. I'm sorry, Dance, but you mean nothing to me. We don't like synths. So I grabbed a trophy and made my way back up to the Pridwin. I talked to him, and now we have to go get the Arc Jet Reactor Core thing. I think that's what it's called. I'm not going to go check. And then I went on to a Vertibird. You can't use the guns, so I just circled this building at least 30 times before hopping off and getting to work. I couldn't really be bothered with most of the synths. I killed them when they came across me, but I just dodged and weaved half the time. But now, once I got down to the lower levels, it was time for me to grab the Beryllium Agitator. That's what it's called. And I detoxed a little bit, and then ran in there, almost died from rads, but I got it. And then I had to face all the robots. And I thought this shit was going to be so hard. But I destroyed that sentry bot. I'm scared of my own power sometimes. Once all the mandatory fighting was done, I got the hell out of there. And then I got stuck in a 3-minute long loading screen crisis. I hate it. Why? Why are the synths hacking the servers? Bethesda, fix! Once I was out of Mass Fusion, it was time for me to boot up Liberty Prime. But there was something wrong with Liberty Prime. There was nothing wrong in the game. But his name kind of sucks. Who likes Liberty Prime? It's outdated. It's overused. Overrated. So I decided to make a new name. Totally original, patent pending, Grogtron. Grogtron was a work in progress because he would kill me a few times and then I'd have to walk all the way back because I'm terrible at saving. So that sucked. But eventually, we went through the whole sequence of the Liberty Walk, killed the behemoth on the bridge, went on through, died a few more times to sense because I'm absolutely trash at this game, and then he got constipated and blew a hole in the ground, which is awesome. We love that. We jumped into the Institute, killed some synths, and now we have to fight our way to the reactor room. The gorillas were no match for my weapons, though. Absolutely slaughtered. Same as every other synth that went against me, too. I knew my son was up to some shady-ass shit when I found him floating in his room, so I defiled his corpse, went on his computer, looked at his search history, and then got rid of the security lockdown. Inside of the reactor room was an absolute mess, so I utilized Jet and Nuka Quantums because there was no way I was going to make it into there alive without it. So yeah, I placed down that bomb and then I got straight out. A copy of my son was here, but anybody's better than that failure I had. So I took him under my wing. He's going to be the next Grognak. Once I stepped on that teleporter, the game has finally come to an end. All I have to do is press that button. And after almost 8 months of making this video, I'm so glad to say it's finally over. And with that press of a button, I beat Fallout 4 as Grognak the Barbarian. Thank you guys so much for joining along. I hope you guys really did enjoy it. If you liked the video, thumbs up and maybe subscribe, which will be awesome. At 1,000 subs, I'm showing my feet. That's a lie. Anyways, if you didn't like the video, I'm sorry. But yeah, I hope I see you guys later. Peace.